viewer, and we're gonna take a look at how you've got your Worcester set up because we haven't seen Worcester that much in King of the Sea. So some interesting questions for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure. Sure.
First of all, enhanced countermeasures. Have you found the unique upgrade for the Worcester to be that beneficial in King of the Sea?
Well, the consensus by our callers is yes, we want to have the extra heal and the extra reload time
Hmm.
because radar and hydro. And I can say with fairly confidence that the extra hydro reload time was pretty useful
Mm-hmm.
in that scenario, especially. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
reload, reload and range mod. There was one game where I played range mod spotter plane. That was just a meme. Um,
Okay.
so that was kind of another question. Reload, yeah, just kind of not really that uh, beneficial compared to extra heal.
Okay, so it's nice to hear that because obviously as casters we look at it, we say, okay, this is what they're trying to do with it. So great, because of course Worcester doesn't have the range with its radar. So yeah, you get the extra the extra radar, but you lose a kilometer in that range, right?
Yeah, but the action time is 52 seconds, which is kind of nuts when you think about cap contesting.
Absolutely.
Not that a DD would stay in that radar, but the fact that you can use it for that long is just kind of insane.
Right, and not only that, but you also have the extended. You've got the hydro as well, which is available for 2 minutes, and now its cooldown is a minute and a half, as opposed to, let me just change this for a sec. What would it be? Cooldown is almost 2 minutes now, so you save like 24 seconds off your cooldown.
Yeah.
That's huge. That can be very huge, especially if you're going to spend as much time as you end up doing in the smoke. So, all right,
Oh,
let's take a look.
it was brutal. I cannot lie.
So let's look at your build. I'm assuming you're using Halsey or what are the does? Although you could,
I was using Halsey. No, I was using Ovechkin
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
the extra SE.
yeah. I see that now. The assumption was looking at Grease the Gears first, but then I went to Oven Chicken, and there it is. So why would you use the special captains? Because it's a press account, everybody gets them. So Grease the
Exactly.
Gears, going into consumables enhancements. I mean, your ship's all about consumables. You're bringing the unique upgrade for consumables. Why wouldn't you put it all together into a
Exactly.
brilliant package? Um,
And there is, sorry, I'm just going to cut you off there for a
oh,
second, but there is one thing where I didn't specifically ask for a build because, well, I mean, to be fair, we also kind of had free builds, not like super comp heavy kind of thing,
hmm,
or super tryhard. But
mhm,
instead of IFHE, I could have taken like Outnumber the top rig gunner, or even RPF for that matter. But
hmm.
IFHE, in my opinion, is somewhat superior, especially when it's fighting against Vincent's, Ohio's, and whatnot.
Okay, so what does IFHE bring you? That gets you the 32 millimeter penetration, doesn't it?
Yeah, you start with 30 and brings you to 37, so you get the 32 threshold.
Right, right. So as you said, anything that's clad in 32 millimeters of armor, either all around, like with British battleships and French and a few others, or ships that have 32 bow and stern pieces, where the center might be heavier. Isn't that Kremlin? Can't remember off the top of my
Um,
head. But in
I
any
think
case,
the very top of the nose, like above the icebreaker, is,
mhm.
and the superstructure, of course.
And
I
then the
think the
rear
rest of it
part.
is 50 on the
Yeah.
deck.
So in any case, okay, so that's why you do the IFHE. You've got incoming fire alert, so you just have that quick heads up to pucker up. You've got adrenaline rush. You've got into survivability expert now. Ovechkin gives you that extra 50 hit points times 10, so you get an extra 500 hit points to your survivability expert by using Ovechkin. So you gain 5,000 hit points as opposed to 4,500. Doesn't seem like much, but over the course of, God, how many heals did you have on this thing?
6 or maybe 5, I forgot.
Yeah, um, 5. So over the course
5,
of
yeah.
5 heals, that stretches. So that
Yeah, it
comes in
does.
very handy. And then of course your IFHE flags. You've got debt ramming. Okay, fire chance. Interesting. You didn't go for the other fire chance as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of them are, of course, fire chance, but one of them gives flooding, not like it matters that much. But the reason I didn't go for that is because the fire extinguishing time, in my opinion, well, if I'm getting shot at it's either by AP or HE, and if it's HE, then I want to have the fire time as low as possible. And although in this case it didn't matter, I was taking floods instead of fires.
Okay. I'm very curious. I want to see. You chose not to take the flooding recovery time, and we know how many torps. I want to see if that has an impact too.
I took like 4 torps that game.
I know. That's what I want to see. Um, okay, so you've got your heal booster, sure. You've got hydroacoustic surge uptime. Okay. This can be a trap, and I comment on this to others. I want to bring this up. So that means that you can't cycle your hydroacoustic as quickly because it's up for another 10% of that time.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So it can help you, it can hurt you. It really depends on how you time your use of hydro. It might, if you linger in smoke screens longer, then this makes sense. But if you find yourself out and already starting to maneuver, your hydro is still available, then that means you can't use it as quickly the next time around. You're already in the smoke, the torpedo's already coming, and you're saying, damn it, why couldn't I hit that button to have hydro? So there's some nuance there, and it all comes down to how you use the ship and your timing, which is like super big brain and strats and practice.
Super big brain, yeah. Well, I can say for one thing, I'm not sure if I'm should be saying it, but we didn't actually practice at all for any of these battles. We didn't do any scrims. We didn't do anything, and most of our players didn't even show up until 10 minutes before the battle started.
Oh my god! Now this is SCCC you're talking about,
Yeah.
and okay,
it was the comms on most of the days that we were playing were absolutely lunacy, like just like trolling the teams. Yeah, so that one game with the Worcester spotter and range mod, it was, I think it was in the first week or second week maybe, and we just decided to. I think it was the last game or something like that. We just decided to go for it, but
because you guys were seeded the first. No, you played Group 8 at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, you guys didn't really practice. You just said we'll show up and we'll skill gap them.
We'll show up, exactly.
Okay.
The most we did was show up, and it was enjoyable.
And Group 7, I mean, you guys almost took Group 7. You almost had the bye for the following day, except No Cap beat you in that one game.
Yeah.
And then so you move on to the brackets. This is last weekend Sunday for people who are wondering. And where were you guys? Here you go. Bracket Group 6. Buenos Noches beats you guys. If I remember right, one of these matches was the one where you had an illegal comp. You won the game, but then they called it a forfeit because you had an illegal comp.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional, but maybe it was. I don't know. And I don't know. It kind of seems a little bit sus. We beat them, and then they called us like illegal lineup. So I mean, of course, it was our fault, but we still beat them in that game. And then so we lost twice, and then we beat them twice.
Right. After beating NABR 2-1. That's the other part too. You guys had to deal with them next, and then moving in.
Yeah.
So okay. Regardless, you got your revenge. You did the thing. What's interesting is, you're talking about that, and I think about American football. Those of you that are over on stateside, American football is if there's a penalty foul or whatever, the play, if it's already started, plays out, and then the team that the foul is on can choose whether or not to accept it. Essentially saying, well, we didn't like the outcome of what happened with the play, so we're gonna say we're gonna take that and penalty and force the redo, or they'll decline the penalty if they like how the outcome came. So
yeah, exactly.
I kind of get some vibes there, but in any case, regardless, it's how it was ruled, and as any team, you have to just move on after it was ruled a certain way. So now you've got a whole week off, and you didn't practice at all.
No, I think actually our clan leader, and well, he wasn't calling today, but he wasn't here today. Fuzzballs made the strats, and then they got deleted or something because WoW's tactic was glitching out, and so he made them again yesterday, and and then like I don't know, 10 or no, I think it was up to the point because we started late as well. We were still deciding on which strat we were going to be using. So it was enjoyable.
And I covered. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. Go ahead.
Okay. I covered during the week SCCC versus I think it was Buenos Noches. I covered the game 2 that made you move into this part here, and I covered it was Fuzzball's Warriors Path against them, and that was a
Oh yeah,
crazy battle.
I remember that game. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a deep dive on my YouTube channel for anybody interested in seeing that one. And then now you go into TRETA versus you guys. TRETA didn't even realize it was time to play. They were off by an hour. I think what happened, there was a lot of talk with NA, with the wargaming staff. They set up all the times, and they all agreed. They synchronized their watches, and then essentially, whoever goes later, I think it's EU, changed their times with daylight savings time. EU goes later than North America, so they all finalized everything in that gap between one side of the planet changing time and the other not. And so the resulting issue was you had an hour. Oopsies.
That was to add on to that, like, because I don't know what happened. We were I don't know what happened, but yeah, TRETA made the room, but I guess it's supposed to be the refs who make the room.
Correct.
So we were all in the room, and TRETA was all in their room, and so they forfeited because they weren't in the refs room.
And
I'm not
there was
really
that miscommunication.
sure.
Oh.
Yeah, and then also the times. Yeah, the times. I looked on 3 different sites: the tournament site, the Excel spreadsheet, and something else. I think it was on the Wargaming News articles, and all 3 of them at different times. And I was just like, okay, I'll show up. I'll show up. But it was weird.
Do me a favor, next time if you see that, say something. It would have saved a lot of running around this morning, from our perspective. But in any case, regardless, it doesn't matter. TRETA loses game 1 to you guys in a forfeit, and then reverse sweeps. We covered game 3 of that, because our game that we were covering before, that was, I believe, that was Epoxy MHG, went 2-0. So we have back-to-back insane games, and I remember reaching out saying, I got to see this replay too now, and I'm thinking, oh my god, the rest of the day is going to be nuts already. So anyways, that's your situation. You guys get defeated to TRETA. You go down to the loser bracket. You go you go 0-2 against RFG, and you're dunsies now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it was rough.
So
I was going to say all of this sounds like it's. I was going to say all of this sounds like it's Griefer's fault.
Let's bring him. Sure.
I don't
know. So chat. In our minds, we're thinking 2 things, right? We're thinking, what if other fire flag? We're thinking, what if flooding recovery time flag? Those are the 2 that we're kind of thinking about. What would he give up to do that? Let's see. Probably a ramming flag. I doubt you're going to get away with a ram with a Worcester against a battleship. Maybe against a cruiser. And if you're ramming a destroyer, I'm sorry, but that destroyer should have been dead before you even touched it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we were told to bring ramming flags. It's part of the deal.
Yeah, fair. And then the other one probably would have been the Hydro one. Those 2 I might give up in favor of fire chance and flooding reduction time. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into the replay, because I already told my wife I'm going to be done at 9, and I'm already worried I'm going to miss that time too. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail us.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay, tell us a little bit about your initial planning. What are you thinking? Looking at TRETA's lineup, what's going on in the chatters and all that kind of stuff.
All right, so I'm not a caller, so it might not be the best person for this. I'm just a little cog playing the Worcester where I'm supposed to be.
Even better.
So for me, the consensus was Shima, Mino, Gearing going to be on A with possibly an Ohio or Kremlin to do a push or something like that, or just kite it. We tried, or I think this the first game we did this smoke play? I don't remember.
Okay.
But we did a smoke play twice on this map on North Spawn. So both times we went to that, like I'm pinging there, actually, Dynasty Square, or maybe Mayhem. So I'm going there. I'm going there with the Ragnar. Ragnar is supposed to be on the 1 line. Let's see.
Sure.
Conqueror is coming with me, and Gearing is smoking me up. So, play was to get me to be able to radar the cap, which is kind of close for comfort, a little too close for comfort, because 9km radar, of course. And I also they banned Des Moines and Des Moines is the ship I've been playing basically the entire KOTS season this
Okay.
time around.
Okay.
So this is my first game in Worcester in maybe 2 weeks.
Sure. Sure.
So it's just nerve-wracking to be that close and to be first time playing and all that fun stuff.
So how does it feel to be negated by a ban?
Oh, it's brutal. There was one game where I had to play Salem, which is the first ever time I played Salem like at all. It was in KOTS today, and so that's because DM got banned.
Okay, all right.
It was kind of brutal for me. Not saying it wasn't brutal for anybody else, but it was just yeah.
Did you also feel maybe kind of like, hey, they're afraid of me in that ship? Did you feel a little bit of like,
I thought that, but I didn't want to be too cocky, because either way, I was hitting my shots. It was just like, Worcester, Des Moines. I guess I'll just play it, see what happens.
Now, if I remember right, you guys banned Brisbane on this one.
Yeah, we also ran Brisbane on a couple occasions, but I think the overall view was that Brisbane somewhat counters our strats.
Yeah.
We played against Brisbane's and Minos, and they tend to get smashed, but in return, 12 km radar is kind of oppressive.
And the 12-kilometer torps, the extra 2 kilometers. There's a couple of salvos that are coming that stop right in front of you, and I'm thinking if that was a Brisbane, you'd have taken far more torpedoes earlier.
Oh yeah, and there's multiple occasions on this where it must have been either Mino or Daring where the torps were coming into my face, and then they run out. So
yeah, we caught a lot of brown alerts in this game. Here comes the first one right here.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I might slow down on this. Oh no, that one. That one.
Yeah. You see them coming, you're like, no, not already, and then they just stop about half a kilometer away from you.
Yeah, it was rough. Might have been a little bit of punching going on.
Yeah, but regardless, they don't hit. You don't take the torps. Why the decision to sit inside the smoke instead of behind it? Because we've seen a lot of teams usually go behind the smoke instead of.
Yeah, I have had very bad experiences. Like, I'm somewhat paranoid of actually being perma-spotted when outside of smoke, because I think in this one and also in the other time we played this strat, I was being perma-spotted when I was outside of smoke, and then you can't go back in because reversing is just dreadfully slow.
No, it's that 1 pixel. If that 1 pixel spots you, you're screwed. So I get
exactly. And I'm right next to the gearing, and gearing has 6-4 detect, and I have 9-8. So if I get spotted, I'm gonna stay spotted for a lot longer than he is. And I'm also, the only radar, not the only radar, but only cruiser on the side. So if I get spotted, I'm gonna get hard focused.
Right. Now, chat, we've been, instead of what I did last time, we've been looking at it just from your perspective, because just how crazy all these torps. We just kept on thinking, all right, at some point they're gonna have to hit.
Explode. Yeah, it's maybe this is another one that goes dark. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just stopped it because I'm like, wait a minute, what?
It goes dark.
Chat, look at this. Look at look at these torpedoes. Okay, you got these torpedoes that just go past you, right? Those are the Yu Yang ones, right? Those are the deep waters, and then you've got another set of torpedoes that are coming right up at you.
And here, like you were saying about the cooldown on the or not the cooldown, but the effective time not spent using the hydro is cursed, and it was to a degree, but I was also getting more value out of the extra duration, so it could go on either way, honestly.
Absolutely. And the problem with those things is it's one of those things where when it works, you're like, hey, this is perfect, I'm glad I brought it. And then another time it doesn't work, and you're like, why the hell did I do this?
And then here I get spotted here because I was focusing on the torps. I didn't realize that the smoke cooldown or the smoke timer was running out. And I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happens here. I remember getting smashed, but I forgot by what.
Chat, if you guys have questions, by the way, as you're seeing this, feel free to ask them in chat. I'll try to monitor it as well, okay? It's not just me asking questions here. It doesn't have to be. So, Mayhem has gone to cap instead of to save your bacon.
Yeah, and then also here, I realized this as I was like leaving, is that my radar was actually available, so I could have prevented the cap from being capped. But again, it was just the heat of the moment kind of thing, where I was hyper focused on not dying. So
as you should be. Surviving is more important, especially you're only 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, torp count 1. That's where you're at so far, and that 20% didn't matter because you DCP'd immediately. While we have a minute, question: what the heck is with the Conqueror using the unique upgrade?
What is the unique upgrade for Conqueror?
Better steering time, quicker recovery of steering gears, and quicker, I think, main battery reload time.
I honestly can't tell you what other people's why other people are doing their builds they're doing, but I can say that during the comms, there was a lot of chatter going on about let me see. Well, there was a lot of chatter. I don't remember exactly what it's about, but
okay.
Again, I was just super focused on my own gameplay to really care or notice anything else going on around me except for the gearing, of course.
Right. It's actually not a buff to the reload. It's a buff to turret traverse, so they turn quicker, and the ship turns quicker. Turrets turn quicker. It makes it into like a more of a, I guess, close range brawler at the expense of concealment module. So just felt kind of weird because Conqueror, you know, one of its strengths is concealment. You give that up for the unique upgrade. You get some, you know, the benefit of it is up close personal. So it's just kind of one of those oxymoron builds. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we weren't, like I said before, the coordination was okay, but the planning wasn't really there. So we kind of just used builds that were kind of not the most ideal. And maybe they were in certain situations, but again, it was just, there wasn't a whole lot of planning into it.
Okay, here's Braun alert number 3.
The cross torps are, yeah.
TRETA was just brutal with their torps.
And here, as like I usually play Lugmog Des Moines, so this would be a lot easier to dodge, and I do dodge it here anyway. But there's just in general, Lugmog Des Moines is so much more versatile with dodging torps.
Now your Hydra's off for another minute and 20 seconds at this point.
Yeah. Memories, not good memories.
Hi, Dogsteel.
Okay, so here there's a call to see if anybody can shoot the Daring B, and I said yes, but I was trying to predict him to do some things, and I thought he was going to stay in the cap because our Moskva doesn't actually have shots on him. So you'll see some funky shots here, but that's because I assumed him being in the cap, but he obviously didn't do that.
Blackout was extremely squirrely in that Daring. We watched him a couple times, and we're just like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
and I saw your shells coming at him.
So. I thought he went forward instead, and I don't know what he was doing. He threw me off so bad; it was kind of embarrassing.
I mean, come on, you're at maximum range with probably the floatiest shells in the game for that ship.
I wanted to get some hits on him because I said I could shoot him, but I didn't actually end up hitting him, which is sad.
Okay, so oof. Okay, so your smoke expires again. You're detected again. You're like, oh my god, again. Ohio is probably looking at you like, well, hello there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And here, like, my logic was, I'm gonna be spotted no matter what I'm doing, so I might as well shoot something I can shoot. And yeah, there I see that Ohio shooting me, and gearing, or is it Daring? I can't even tell. Opens up. And, yeah.
Oh, you took 2 on the butt. Oh, from 2 different angles.
Yeah, and if I was just a little bit more forward, I would have dodged both of them. But
well, you also had Hydro available and you didn't use it. So that was interesting.
And that was a misplay.
Yeah, you're so focused on like, oh my god, all these Ohio shells coming in. I understand.
It was a little bit difficult, but
it'd be nice if there was a mod that says, "Yo, dummy, your consumable's ready. Push the button."
I believe those are called eyes. Yes.
Oh yes. Damn those eyes.
I didn't have eyes, unfortunately, in this
Oh, well.
section, but
Regardless, you got A. Your DCP is available in 10 seconds, so you'll be fine. You won't take that much flooding damage, right?
and and something that was bothering me again here is that to use all of my guns, I have to give so much angle to potential torps, which is just unfun because torps again. Oof. I don't know what, oh, I guess that was Conqueror who did that.
Yeah, Conqueror slapped. Ohio shot at you for a sec there. You took one butt pen. Now
Yeah.
Mayhem is coming back. Are you thinking let's dive this the smoke and radar?
Well, I think he was thinking that. I was thinking I didn't want to get spotted again, but
Okay.
the coordination wasn't completely there. I don't know.
That's fine. Because I mean, as you're turning, you're just like, shit.
Well, I mean, I have to make use of the smoke because why else did he lay it? You know? Or that's my thinking anyway.
Okay.
And then I turn in here, and I don't know. It's just this game was so cursed, and I prefer to leave it from my memory if possible. But
and here I am triggering you by forcing you to do it to relive it.
Yeah, forcing me, but it's enjoyable to re-go over it.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. All right. I'm surprised you didn't radar here. You're trying to wait for them to trip the cat before you radar?
Yeah, and my gearing, I asked him to spot the Ohio because here he's last spotted in my range, and I think the focus fire was supposed to be on Ohio anyway, so that's the plan anyway. And then I think here also on the other side of the map, our Vermont is dying.
Just went down.
Yeah. So right here is when the panic starts to set in for making plays. Even though we have 2 caps, it just again it was just the way it is, I guess.
And then here you go, torpedoes to starboard, torpedoes to starboard, torpedoes to starboard. You're just like, oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Let's see, this is number 3, number 4, number 5 actually, because you took 2 that other time. And number 6 is gonna kill you right here.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Problem solved, sir. Boom.
Who needs hydro when you're dead?
Who needs hydro when you're dead? All right, I'm gonna take a death pick. Sorry, man. I gotta do this.
It's all good.
But like, so that flag didn't matter. That flag would not have saved you.
Yeah, the flooding. No.
Yeah.
Flooding
Yeah, and the hydro one didn't really feel like it mattered either.
The fire one, the fire prevention one didn't matter either.
Nope.
Because I didn't even take any hits from anything but AP.
And poor Mayhem now is like, well, guess I'll just
die.
die.
The other thing was our Ragnar redeployed to B, even though it wasn't necessary. No fault. No, I mean, not blaming him, but it's just one of those misplays that could have been better off.
I'm sorry, not blaming who? Mayhem?
No, our Ragnar, because he was originally supposed to be on the 1-2 line, spotting and whatnot,
And
but
then
he redeployed to B where he wasn't needed, and then once I think Mino dies to Conqueror, and here like after Mino dies to Conqueror, the play could have been, in my opinion, Ragnar just inting into those DDs, and then we get a secured flank. But that didn't happen because, well,
yeah,
there is no Ragnar to int.
So, was Ragnar told to move? Did he just move on his own without telling you guys? Do you know?
Yeah, he moved on his own. I mean, there was some discussion pre-game about moving the Ragnar towards B, because I think, oh no, maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but he did move on his own accord, I'm pretty sure, and let me see what else is going on here.
A whole lot of crazy. Because at this point, it's like, well, what's your Conqueror gonna do at A? Completely gone. I'll bet you the Ragnar thought, all right, I'm gonna teach this this daring a lesson, and then he couldn't.
The other thing was the daring for TRETA redeployed to A, so there's 3 DDs on A.
Right. Which you guys did not know about.
Our Conqueror, which we didn't know about. Yeah, we knew there was a Mino there, but the Mino is dead, so it could have been Phantom Mino Torps, but no, it's actually daring, because daring gets to kill.
Right.
So it was pretty scuffed, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it happens, especially if, like you said, you didn't really do a lot of practice, no scrims, and stuff like that.
But that wasn't really the worst part. The worst part was the misplays, because I mean, we didn't do any practice on any other previous matches, and we did more or less okay on those. But it was just, I don't know, I guess people were tired. We got 2 Australians, so they were up at like 5 a.m. playing with us Americans at 12 a.m. So everybody's a little bit tired. Cry for Mayhem, yeah.
Oh, Mayhem is also on Aussie. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of them, I think both of them went to sleep right after that, and our Vermont went to sleep after that. So everybody was just kind of a little bit tired.
Yeah, you guys were kind of spent.
Game? No, the next game after that, because Morale got also beat up a little bit. Then everybody went to sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So this is game 3 of winners bracket. You get knocked out. You go to losers bracket, 2-0'd, and then you're done, right? So at that point, everybody's like, "Good night, guys."
No, actually, what was even funnier was that I think one of the refs thought that we won a match against the losers bracket, so there was like a semi ping for all of us to come back.
They tried to get you into game 3.
Yeah. So it was interesting.
Like Griefer's gonna take a torp, and that'll end him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I got a dog.
Oh, no need to apologize. It's all good. Okay. We're at 9. I'm gonna run the replay render. We'll take a look. This game's pretty much all but wiped. There's not much to look at in the render, I think, except for, frankly, what happens with your Ragnar. Because as you mentioned, he kind of rotates, and ouch, right? Like, I think that's really the big misplay that you were talking about.
Well, I think there was multiple misplays on a lot of people's parts, including mine.
Sure.
Like you saying with the Hydro and some other things. I think our Vermont inted as well. Moskva.
Pause for a second if you don't mind. You say inted. Sure. What do you mean by int? What does that mean?
He YOLO'd into Torps and died.
Got it. Okay.
And
thank you.
I know you said to not
hold
use
the
so many
words.
gamer words. Yeah.
Thank you for
I thought you meant
so.
gamer words in the other sense, but
well, ones that get pulled up by YouTube's profanity filter.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, you were talking about
this place, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So our Ragnar, I think what he was thinking was his radar doesn't really cover all of A, or if it does, he has to be really close. So going to B would be more beneficial, maybe to farm out the Moscow, maybe farm out the Ohio, but D Square was our caller, and he was locking down B pretty well with his Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure. Like, again, I was focusing on my own play, so I was kind of tuning out anything that had anybody else other than myself. And again, also focusing on not dying. So I'm not really sure why that happened or what the thinking was on his part.
Okay.
But that was one of the misplays on A.
Yeah,
the other misplay again was mine. Vermont did a thing. And then on C, I wasn't. Mr. Mayhem is talking to me.
I know. Good morning, Mr. Mayhem. Welcome back. How was your sleep?
Yeah.
Sorry,
it was all my fault. I died on A, and therefore we lost the game. So
that's right. So I pause it here because this is kind of, I think, a crucial moment. I wonder if your Ragnar player saw that your other Ragnar player left B cap. He got tired and said, "I'm out of here," so that he could deal with the Shimakaze at sea, double teaming with your Yu Yang. The irony is, if he had stayed, he could have been going after the Daring right here.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was going on exactly. Again,
yeah,
I don't know. But
okay,
the
okay,
uh, the chaos on A was just a little bit too much to to be focused on that and on other stuff. So
right,
maybe if you got like D squared or somebody in here, they could probably explain a little bit better. But
right.
uh,
And that's okay. They're not. No worries. The other big thing is the Vermont. When the Vermont pushes, and I think that was House. When he
yeah, it
pushes, Greifer or Grief, he's not with the Vermont. He doesn't push at the same time. So we
yeah, and
have.
that's let me see what Mayhem says. I also thought we had 2 DDs at A, not 3. Ragnar's redder and a closer would have
Mhm.
been, yeah, exactly. So
Well, you did have
um
two until the Daring rotated.
until uh daring. No, I think he's talking about our side because they had 2 DDs there, but we didn't know that they had 3. So having an extra radar there would have been more useful
Oh,
than just myself.
yeah, you can
Um,
rotate through the radars better. Got it.
but yeah, the Vermont play was an ideal because in our plans it was supposed to be a kite side for 10
Hmm.
line.
Hmm.
So I think him pushing, despite him being extraordinarily slow, was a little bit throwing off of Greifer and anybody else who's on that flank.
I think,
At least that was just in my logic, but
yeah,
I think he had his own reasons for doing it.
sure. We missed that. We'll have to watch it when it cycles around again. But I really do think if the two pushed together, it would have been a different situation as well. But Greifer was pushed all the way back around the C910 island. So by the time he turned back around, he couldn't get there in
He
time.
was, yeah, he wasn't
Ironically
able to
enough.
help. And then I think also he said that if he was range mod, he could have hit that Moskva who was at that point barely out of range. And that also could
Uh-huh.
have been a different story. Not like it. I mean, we're at 900 points. We're at 360. They're at 900. So
Yeah.
we would have gotten a whole bunch of kills. But um,
Yep.
there was just a lot of things that could have happened that didn't happen.
Yep. Hulch, yeah, I talk about that a lot with random player replays, but even with others too. The default. I don't know what to do, so let's just move forward and see what happens, and then they die.
Yeah.
Sometimes a couple seconds later, like happened on stream yesterday, or sometimes minutes later, but the result is oftentimes the same.
And then let me see. Mayhem says also and we played outside the cruiser radars, meaning Mino, I'm guessing.
Mm,
But every time we touched the cap, Y was covering it. But outside of my radar, but inside of my detect.
mhm.
Um, or maybe he's talking about his. What I'm not really sure. But and they had a good nap after cons.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
um,
All right, so we're gonna
yeah,
watch this one last time, and then we're gonna have to hang this up, okay? But we're gonna look at the Marseille. We're gonna watch the Vermont and the Marseille over there on the 8 line because I think that's the kind of the other crucial part. When I was casting this with Raptor, of course, we're flying back and forth, we're looking at things, and all that.
yeah.
You're on the other flank. You're not watching what's happening. They're off, the mini map. Hard to tell, anyways. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Can't. I mean, considering on how little preparation we did, and we got to top 16, I'm kind of happy about that. So
Sure,
I get some steel, I get some doubloons, I
it's stuff and things.
get to buy some ships or something on my main account. So
And worthy of note, Greifer's doing a nice job of farming down the Kremlin. I noticed he just kept hitting that Kremlin, um, and not taking much by the Salem in response. So I thought that was really good kiting up he did
yeah,
there. But
we actually had pretty good positions and a pretty good point advantage or potential point advantage, but just some minor misplays like the Ragnar and the Vermont that tipped the balance, and
yeah,
then we just couldn't recover.
well, there's no communication, my guess, between the Vermont and Greifer. So you can see Greifer's backing up. Now he's moving forward. The Vermont doesn't even slow down. He's just full sending it. Um, trying to make something work. And what happens, what you expect to see happening, is he takes a bunch of torpedoes. You hate to see it. You know it's coming. The crazy thing is, I've seen so many battleship players, especially like in ranked and whatnot, when they're spotted and the enemy knows that they're coming, they instinctively slow down right before coming around an island or something like that. And he didn't do that. We saw the same thing in an earlier match or later match in Warrior's Path. Same result, taking all those torpedoes, and you're just like, why? you know?
Yeah, that was the comms, and I don't mean to put any blame, but it was just what happened. What happened? And you can't really change it after the fact.
Absolutely,
Talk about it.
absolutely. It's fun talking through it. It's fun looking at it. It gives viewers a chance to really see things from different perspective, the player's perspective, to talk through it and all that. So I appreciate you doing that. You're staying up late, hanging out here. I am too. So we're both continuing to do this. Chat, everybody's sitting here doing this too. We're still just under 1,000, which is freaking crazy.
I think.
So
Yeah. Yeah, Mayhem says it's cost misplays will cost you exactly. So battle of attrition. Although this game was, I think it was attrition up to about the halfway point, and then it was the slaughter.
The problem with those smoke snails, death snails, is it comes down to who takes the torps decisively and dies. That was you.
Exactly. That
Oh
was
well.
me.
Other
I,
games, it's a
I lost this
destroyer.
the eighth lane essentially, but
Yeah.
whatever.
All
It
right,
is what it
guys.
is.
Well, thank you again. I really need to go.